Welcome back, everyone, to Daily Classics, where the hunt for fun never ends. I found this beautiful 1984 Pontiac Trans Am out in Texas this morning. It's on Craigslist. Let's go check it out. This is a 1984 Pontiac Trans Am from Texas. He's asking $12,937. I guess if you don't have that $37, you can't get the car. It's a consignment dealer, and the way consignment dealers work is it's almost like real estate agents, for which I'm a broker, And basically, what people do is you know that the seller's house isn't worth $500,000, but you contract with the seller anyway, with the anticipation of bringing the price down so you can make a commission. And the same thing happens with consignment sellers is that they'll work with their client, and the client will give a high price. Let's say the client wants $10,000 for this car. He's added $2,937 for commission. But eventually, the seller has to have a meeting of the minds with the broker, the consignment dealer, and try to bring the price down because it's a little high. $12,900 for a 1984 Pontiac Trans Am. Probably worth about 10, maybe, if it's the original interior and exterior. The car wasn't repainted, but we'll get into that in a little while. Anyway, the 1984 Trans Am was a carryover from 83, more or less. For people liking collectability, the 1985 version was a more dramatic styling upgrade. It also included the fuel-injected engine. However, the 84 was one of the best-selling model years for the third-generation Firebird at the time. About 128,000 units were sold, of which 55,000 units were the Trans Am. The 305 high output now L69 engine was now the standard and only engine on the Trans Am. For 84, the tachometer went up to 8,000 RPMs, and it had a functional cold air hood induction, which is pretty cool. Show you the engine on this car. One of the things that I liked about this car a lot was the engine. The black and gold editions were still available. I think it was last year. The WS6 package included the gold decals, which were like a special ground effects look. And this car has the WS6 special edition options. And there was a model that they had. I don't recall seeing one recently, but it's a special edition Recaro edition that had the Recaro seats and special labeling on the car and such. They state that only 1,321 of these Recaro 1984 Pontiac Trans Ams were built, so I would think that's a very highly collectible car. Something that you probably see on Bring a Trailer and such. But what I like about this car a lot is that, Daily Classics is all about finding cars that we can afford and drive and have fun with. We're not buying $80,000 cars. Every now and then I'll show a $50,000 or $40,000 car and such just to have some fun. But these are cars that we can step up and own and drive and just have fun. And for some of us, like myself, it's like a time machine. You get a chance to go back into time and have some fun. So let's dive into this car a little bit and see if we can tear it up. The biggest thing about this car would be the Texas cars are really cool, but one of the things about Texas is you get no rust on the cars most of the times, but you get paint fading and you get interior, overheating where things in plastic start, cracking and things like that. Now, the paint on this car looks like it could be a little faded, but if it's all original and the striping is original, which it appears like it is, then I'm a player on this car because of its originality. I don't have to paint it. I could just drive it, enjoy it, bring it to car shows, talk about the edition, talk about the model year and such. And you get your arms around this car and have some fun with it, So if it's the original paint, even if it's a little faded, I'm cool with that. This car doesn't have T-tops, which I really not a big T-top fan anyway. I mean, I think it's nice to open up and have some fun with, but when it comes to buying cars of this age, I'm okay with a hard, solid roof like this car does have. It does have the ground effects, like we said before. So it does have the WS6 package. I believe all-wheel disc brakes were standard on the Trans Am. So it has special wheels on this car, concave wheels that they came out with. So the car has a certain pedigree to it as far as being a nicely optioned Trans Am. I do like the colors a lot. Everything looks to be very original on this car. So I'm thinking all these years, this car was definitely kind of garaged. There's the interior of it. He put a new upgraded radio in, which is cool. People do. Look at all those hardware on the dashboard at the time. You could take everything apart with a Phillips head screwdriver, and not Phillips head. Well, in some cases it is Phillips head with Allen wrenches in it. So everything was very accessible. I sold, I was not sold, but I was a service writer. Not many people know this. I was a service writer for 1 year at BK Chevrolet in Brooklyn, and it was about the same time, 1984. And people would come in and say, "I just bought a brand new car, and there's rattles in my dashboard." And it, the rattles were everywhere during this period of making cars. And one of the things to remember that there was less automation here. There were people putting the seats in the car and bolting them down. There were two people carrying the dashboard to put into the car. They still had the pit where the guy was there to marriage the transmission into the frame of the car. So in a lot of ways, these cars were hand-built cars for good, bad, or indifferent reasons. New for 84 was this 8,000 RPM tachometer. There's our Drive 55 speed limit, which was insane. Another reason why the federal government should never get into building cars. So the car definitely can go faster than 85 miles an hour. I love the door panels. The car has a nice look. It's that nice, saddle-looking interior with black, and the exterior looks really well. The interior looks really nice. Needs a detail. I mean, the seatbelts look a little, dirty and things like that. Might be a little crack here in the dash. The dash is very big on these cars, so that sun hits that dash, even with tinted windows, it could take some toll. So that might be a little conversation for negotiating on price. But overall, this picture was nice. This picture here, he has the rear view mirror on the floor. Now, one of the things that really turned me off about stuff like this is that if you're going to list a car or consign a car, it only costs about $12 to go to AutoZone and buy that adhesive and put that rear view mirror back on the windshield where it belongs. So it's kind of a little lazy not to do that, but especially taking a photo of it. But what's nice about this photo is you can see the door jamb here. It doesn't look like it was repainted. Definitely looks like the original paint and all. So those are things I like to see. The rear trunk here, it's pretty aged. It looks a little dirty. The car looks like it really needs a good detail and a good buffing. This might be rust here, surface rust from where the door slams down on the hood, on the area here. The right rear quarter panel here on the top side, maybe a little rust here, but just a little surface rust. It's not a big deal. Very bland center consoles. They weren't that fancy back then, and that's basically what you see. It does have power windows, but what's really nice is this photo of the engine bay. The engine bay looks to be very original, which I like. There's that cold intake induction system they had that mates with the hood. The car looks like it has a brand new air conditioning compressor, new alternator, new belts. So those are welcome things to see. And what's really important is that this whole engine bay doesn't look like it was upgraded for performance purposes and things like that. Remember back in 84, people were taking the, manifolds off, putting high-rise manifolds in, changing the carburetors and doing all those things. This car looks to be very original, and I like that about this car a lot. Do I like it enough to pay $13,000 for it? No, but I'm still on the sides of being that this car could be worth about $10,000. If I was in the market, if I was in Texas, I would definitely look at this car. So there you have it. It's a 1984 Pontiac Trans Am, really nice. If it's something that you'd like to see, just go on to Craigslist. Just type in 1984 Pontiac Trans Am in Tyler, Texas, and this car will come popping at you. It was posted just 3 days ago, and that's our pick for Daily Classics today. If you're not already a subscriber on Daily Classics, we'd love to see you. Just come on board to Daily Classics and hit the subscribe button, and also share this page with friends and channel that people like cars as well. That's how we grow. And this is Rob. Thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate having you here. Welcome back. This spring is going to be a great spring selling season and buying season because car prices in some ways are coming down a bit, especially in the 80s and 90s vintage that I like to hunt down a lot, where $10,000 can buy you something for a lot of fun. Anyway, this is Rob. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here.